There was a part of me that was a little anxious about being back in my hometown. It had been a few years since I last saw my best friends whom I grew up with. We had all grown apart over the years, even though we had tried to stay in contact. I wasn't sure if they would be back in town for the holiday or not, but I was hoping I'd see them at some point. At the same time, I was a little nervous about the possibility of running into them again. So much time had passed. I was afraid so much would have changed. Opening my eyes, I stared back at the house that loomed above me. I always swore this place was haunted when I was a kid, but as my eyes trailed over the Christmas lights hanging from the gutters, I found it hard to believe. It looked like the North Pole had thrown up all over the exterior of the house. My mother's style was always softer and delicate, but she didn't hold back when it came to Christmas. Grabbing my suitcase, I stepped up to the front gate and opened it before stepping into the front yard. The wheels of my suitcase moved over the concrete walkway as I dodged small clumps of snow until I reached the front steps. Hoisting it up, I walked across the front porch that wrapped around the house. My hand touched the cool metal handle of the front door, and I pushed it down before letting myself in. It was warm and welcoming inside, a stark contrast to the cold winter air outside. The smell of vanilla and cinnamon enveloped me, drawing me deeper into the house. The sound of my mother's voice as she hummed drifted down the hall, and I left my suitcase in the foyer by the stairs before stepping into the kitchen. She was moving around the island when she caught sight of me. A gasp escaped her, and she jumped, lifting her hand to her chest. "Oh, my goodness, Raegan, you scared me!" She paused, her eyebrows scrunching before glancing at the clock on the stove. "Wait, Raegan, I'm supposed to pick you up from the airport after dinner." I shrugged off my long wool coat and smiled brightly at my mother. "I was able to get an earlier flight and thought I would come early and surprise you." Her lips stretched into a grin, and she rounded the island before pulling me in for a hug. "And what a pleasant surprise this is! I'm so happy you're here, dear." She pulled away, smoothing the arms of my sage green sweater. "How was your flight?" "It wasn't terrible," I told her, watching her as she moved over to the counter to pour me a cup of coffee. Steam drifted from the top of the mug as she poured some caramel-flavored creamer into it before handing it to me. I was able to get some work done on the flight, so it helped pass the time. I worked for one of the top marketing firms in the city and oversaw various projects for some of the biggest retail companies in the world. It was a time-consuming job, but lucky for me, I was driven and working my way to the top. My dating life was dismal, and it didn't leave much time for other hobbies. I was basically married to my job. "I'm glad you were able to get the time off to come visit,"